Thank you, Kayla. And good day, everyone. Warm gratitude, first of all, to SDSN Youth, and the Pontifical Academy of Social Sciences. Really, it's an honor to be in this room with so many amazing young change makers and young at heart change makers as well. Really hearing from our previous speakers sort of gives me this confidence that I'm working in the right sector. It was mentioned at the United Nations by Professor Jeff Sachs that there is one SDG that really has the capacity and power to achieve all 17, and it is SDG 4. Education is really the heart and most powerful potential that can transform our society. And again, my name is Ilan Enverga, and with the various hats that I wear and the organizations that I work with, there is a central theme, and that is education and youth empowerment. I really feel like I live, breathe, and sleep the SDGs, specifically ESD, or Education for Sustainable Development, or Target SDG 4.7. I really wholeheartedly believe in ESD, and I'll say this acronym a lot, so I hope that that is clear. I actually work full-time as an educator. So I'm a high school teacher as well as a K-12 school leader. So just before flying here, I was in a classroom teaching about systems thinking to my social entrepreneurship class. And I think this is live stream, so if my students are watching, I will be checking that you submitted your homework today, even if I am here. But one thing that really surprises the fact that I work at a sort of focused classroom school level is that I still have access and privilege to work in spaces that are high-level international policy related. So I do this work with the SDG 4 Youth and Student Network within UNESCO's Global Education Cooperation Mechanism. The UN loves its acronyms, and of course, the SDG 4 HLSC, so the High-Level Steering Committee, which is chaired by Director General of UNESCO, Audrey Azoulay, as well as the President of Chile. So on that committee, I sit as the youth representative. So two things that have surprised me from working with governments and speaking to these sort of high-level people is I've learned two things. So one is young people are really calling for a transformation in education, specifically when it comes to relevance. Young people are asking for an education system that is relevant to their present and future needs. The second thing that I've learned being exposed to what governments are doing when it comes to education for sustainable development is there's a lot to get done, and there's still a lot that needs to be done when it comes to ESD. And ultimately that led me to realizing that I can't wait for systems to change. I have to do things in my own sphere of influence, in my own corner of the world in the Philippines. So I'm happy to now share about the work that I do with the kids that are on the screen. And I'm very proud of the fact that this program of ESD that we've designed has won awards and has allowed us to be invited by ministries of education around the world and NGOs and schools, including Global Schools Program and SDSN. The thing I'm most proud of is really these kids. They're not my biological kids, but they really feel like my pride and joy. I can talk days, not just hours, days about them. And I think there's one word that's in the topic of this panel that really summarizes what their achievements entails, and that is the word impact. These kids have really shown us what impact should look like. Impact for communities, impact for the SDGs, and our goal with our take on ESD is to normalize impact. So again, to normalize impact for our local communities, local issues, and of course for the global goals. We envision a world where being a change maker is not rare, it's the norm. Imagine a world where, there's some amazing people in this room, but I feel like there's too many problems for even the people in this room to solve. We need more. We need more change makers, and that's our vision for the world. We envision a world where everyone in society and their behavior is driven by empathy, by critical thinking, by agency to do good. Don't we all want to live in a world where everyone in the world cares about solving the same problems? Yes or no? Yes? Yes, I think that is the dream for all of us. And to achieve this, we embedded change making, or being a change maker, into academics. And this is not just an extracurricular on ESD, it's not just a club, it's not just one lesson, it's not one subject, it's not just one teacher, it's every single teacher, every single grade level from preschool all the way to high school for the entirety of a school year. So for 13 years of your life, all you're doing is practicing to be a change maker. And it's reinforced during a person's most formative developmental years, right? So this is from, again, preschool to high school. And what's amazing about this form of education is students don't just listen and learn. They're not just being passive beneficiaries of education. They're applying what they're learning and leading positive change at their local levels. So as part of their academics, their assessments, they're launching and leading these impact projects. And another way to think about what the students do is they essentially run their own NGOs as part of their academics. They run their own social enterprises. They conduct their own academic research on local issues aligned to the SDGs. And on an average one school year, 20,000 people are impacted just because my students are doing their homework, right? So that's the power of one school. Imagine every school in the world was doing this. We're talking about normalizing change making and normalizing being a good person, a caring person, a kind person. And just to give you examples, my 16-year-old students who are studying in science, human biology, would partner with doctors and hospitals to launch local medical missions for incarcerated individuals who don't have access to quality healthcare. Our 10-year-old students who are learning about literary narrative elements are authoring their own and publishing their own books on climate change based on interviews that they conducted with climate displaced individuals and families. I have 6-year-old students in grade 1 who are manufacturing their own eco-friendly soaps as part of their own social enterprise, as well as leading sustainability consumerism seminars for adults. And in other years, students are leading impact projects on a multitude of issues like clean water, coastal ecosystems, misinformation, endangered species, mental health, gender equality, voters' education, and indigenous rights. The list really goes on, and I could talk hours and hours about the work that they do because they've just done so much, and that's why I'm so proud of the kids. But this is how we normalize change making. Like, this is how we normalize impact through academics, right? Education can equip people to be agents of change if we do it experientially, if we do it regularly and repetitively, and if we do it systemically in schools and in education systems. So to support the growing movement for ESD, I founded Global Changemaker Schools, a nonprofit organization which aims to make this impact-driven form of ESD learning and teaching free and accessible to teachers and schools all over the world by means of what we believe was the success point of what we started with. But long story short, we opted away from these sort of one-time seminar style capacity building for teachers and opted more for teacher mentorships that really highlighted more human-centered teacher training as well as teacher autonomy. So at Global Changemaker Schools, we're using the trainers model to build a network of peer mentors, of school advisors, of sustainability experts, and building this network to really meaningfully bring ESD to education systems. And along with this whole school approach, we are also working to build a whole of society approach to ESD. So just last month, our students organized the largest SDG event in the Philippines, in our country. And again, these are elementary and high school students who were inviting these really high-level speakers, speaking at their own panel sessions and talking about their work that they do as a young person to change what's happening in their local communities. And many of these partnerships with, for example, UN agencies, private sector, public sector, and civil society, NGOs, social enterprises were formed. These partnerships were formed and initiated by young people themselves. So really, really proud of them. And this year, we're hoping to formalize an actual national coalition with these multi-sectors to actually work together on ESD. And last but not least, I'm really happy to launch at this panel. I think this is the first time it's being said that our Global Changemaker Schools is partnering with UNESCO, with ESD for 2030, Greening Education Partnership, and the SDG4 Youth and Student Network to launch an annual celebration for education for sustainable development held every 4th month on the 7th day, April 7th, in just a few days. So 4.7 Day will now forever be known as Education for Sustainable Development Day. And we use this opportunity to remind all of us that no matter what sector we work in, we all have a stake and responsibility in educating the next generation. Education is literally operationalizing hope. And if we believe in hope, we need to believe in education, and we need to activate education's transformative power, and the way to do that is to transform education. Thank you.